In the previous episode, we saw Jun-hyun, the one with Young-ho's soul inside him, try to reach Young-ho's body, but just then, something starts happening to Young-ho's body. Seun-hee cries out for the doctor. Security guards come in and take Jun-hyun out. Jun-hyun tries to run, but Bangul happens to be right nearby. She pulls him toward her and brings him over to the stairs. Looking at her, he says, "What are you doing here? Weren't you supposed to be in New York? Do you work at Choisung?" But she wrenches his arm and demands, "Is it true that you did all this to my father? Is he in a coma because of you? Just who are you anyway?" She won't let go of his hand. But the moment he tells her that her father is dying, she falls quiet. Looking at her, he says he knows she's worried about her father. She denies it though, saying that's not it. She's worried about herself, because now she'll never get her chance to take revenge on her father. Just then, someone approaches, and Bangul runs off. It's Jae-sung's secretary, who informs Jae-sung that Jun-hyun is here. On the other side, we see Bangul secretly eavesdropping on Sang-jae's conversation. A secretary tells Sang-jae that the last time she saw the chairman, he was talking with his two children, but he was furious at the time. Sang-jae begins to suspect that the chairman's children may be behind the hit-and-run case. Bangul overhears all of it. But then Seun-hee comes up behind her and asks what she's doing there. She then takes her over to the chairman. Seun-hee tells her daughter not to worry. Her father will recover soon, but adds that she shouldn't have come here. Does she want to get killed at her siblings' hands too? In the next scene, we see Bangul spread rumors throughout the company about who was driving the car during the hit-and-run. However, no one figures out who is sending these messages. On the other side, we see Jae-kyung and Jae-sung outside their house talking. The police have covered everything up and removed the footage. There's only one thing left for them to do: to win him over. Then we turn to Jun-hyun. They come inside the house and speak with him. They ask him about the person who caused his accident. Does he know who it was? Did he see his face? Jun-hyun tells them the truth. Recalling his meeting with their father, he says it was the two of them who had caused his accident. They bring up making a settlement, but Jun-hyun refuses. He's then locked inside a room. Meanwhile, outside the company, we see everyone protesting. The two siblings arrive there. People ask them who was driving the car at the time. Was it really the chairman or not? Jae-sung doesn't know what to say, but Jae-kyung declares that yes, it was her father who was driving, and that he told them to keep quiet. Once inside, Jae-sung talks to Jae-kyung and asks what all that was about. If their father wakes up, the two of them will go to jail. But Jae-kyung says not to worry. Nothing like that will happen, because her husband, Sang-dae, will take care of the chairman. Meanwhile, we see Jun-hyun, who's locked inside the room. Once the security guard leaves, he abruptly stands up and says to himself, "Did you really think I wouldn't be able to get out of here? I'm the one who built this place." He then opens a secret door and escapes. He comes outside the company and sees everyone protesting and blaming him. Everyone wants to destroy his Choisung group. Inside the company, everyone is holding a board meeting. Jae-kyung and Jae-sung talk about becoming chairman. Sang-jae says that for now this can't happen, and even if they want to do it, which of the two of them would become chairman? Neither of them answers. Just then, a secretary comes running in and reports that Jun-hyun is holding a press conference outside. Everyone hurries over to him. Jae-kyung and Jae-sung tell him to come down, but Jun-hyun doesn't, and instead tells the media that the person who caused his hit-and-run accident was, in fact, not the chairman. Hearing this, the two siblings breathe a sigh of relief. They both come up on stage and tell the media that their father did all this to Jun-hyun, that they apologize for it, and that they'll help Jun-hyun as much as they possibly can. Jun-hyun then leaves. Here, Sang-jae spots Bangul. He comes over and asks when she arrived. Bangul says she'll tell him later. Her siblings mustn't find out that she's here. Now we see Jun-hyun, the one with Young-ho's soul inside. He comes home and looks around at the belongings there. He's looking at several notes on which Jun-hyun's dream is written. He also looks at a photo of his grandmother, but then he spots a cockroach, and at the sight of it, he screams and runs out of there. As he flees, he tells himself he'll never come back to this place. But then he becomes aware of his legs and says to himself that he's actually running fast. He then remembers his cane, the one he always used to keep with him. We see Jae-sung talking with Jae-kyung, saying that they're safe now. Jun-hyun is on their side too. By the way, what about Sang-dae? Did he do what he was told to do? She nods. We then see Sang-dae himself come in to do something to the chairman. But Sun-hee is already there. He sets the injection down and asks her what she's doing here. The chairman will recover soon. Come, he'll take her home. Sun-hee goes along with it. As they leave, Sang-dae messages the siblings, saying he's taking Sun-hee away like this so they should get the job done. A little while later, we see Jun-hyun arrive here. He takes the top piece of the cane and is about to leave. But just then the siblings are coming, so he hides. Jae-kyung picks up the injection and is just about to administer it to the chairman when his eyes open. The chairman grabs Jae-sung's hand and tries to say something. But then Jae-kyung takes a pillow and starts trying to kill him with it. Jun-hyun was hidden behind the sofa, and something starts happening to him too. He's about to die as well. But as quickly as he can, he presses the emergency button. The siblings have to flee. Jun-hyun comes over to Young-ho's body and tries to wake him, but nothing happens. He then runs off too, but just then, Bang-gul spots him. Jun-hyun comes outside and breaks down crying, asking himself why he even went in there. He shouldn't have had to witness all that. Sang-dae, the doctor, examines the chairman. He then speaks with the family and says he doesn't think the chairman can wake up anymore. They should be ready for the worst. Jae-sung's wife, Yoon, calls her father, whose name is Bong-shi, and who is the chairman of the Tahiha group. She tells him that Young-ho is going to die soon, and that the Choi-sung group will be theirs. On the other side, we see Jun-hyun looking at his check, on which he had earlier written that he wants the Choi-sung group. He also recalls a scene from his past, the first time he took over the Choi-sung group. Even though his siblings couldn't let it happen, he still refused to give up back then. Now, he makes up his mind to act. He then appears before the siblings. The two of them tell him he did a good job. Now, whatever he wants, just tell them how much money he needs. But he says that he wants to work at the Choi-sung company as an intern. In the next scene, that's exactly what happens. He comes into the company and has his photo taken with them. Bang-gul, too, sees the news that the victim will be working at their company. Inside the company, Jun-hyun meets Sang-jae, who asks him what he's come here to do. What's his motive? Jun-hyun says he'll find out soon enough, and that he'll end up helping him, because this is his first job, and people cherish their first job. For a moment, Sang-jae is taken aback, because that's the kind of thing the chairman used to say. In the next scene, we meet a team leader named Bong-gi, who is talking with his employees. He tells them that Jun-hyun is going to join their team. A senior officer recommended him, so they should treat him well. A short while later, Jun-hyun shows up here. He looks at all of them, but then starts talking about projects, asking how far along a certain project has come. Bang-gul grabs him and pulls him outside, saying, "What is all this? Why are you asking about projects? Are you some kind of chairman? You're working as an intern, so just do that work and nothing else." Jun-hyun asks, "What is it that interns even do?" In the next scene, she asks him to make a sheet in Excel, but he doesn't know how. An argument breaks out between them. He's about to call her the chairman's daughter, but she drags him outside and says, "What is all this? Can't you keep your mouth shut?" Jun-hyun asks her, "What did you come here to do? You were abroad, weren't you? You didn't do any work there either. You just go to clubs." She snaps at him and asks how he knows all this. Did her siblings tell him? Bang-gul then recalls that when the emergency alarm went off in the hospital, she saw Jun-hyun coming out of her father's room. Maybe he did something, but for now she can't say anything because she has no evidence. Jun-hyun goes to Bong-gi and starts asking about Bang-gul, how she is at her work. Bong-gi praises her highly though, describing how she works there. She meets everyone's needs and brings them coffee. Hearing this, Jun-hyun snaps and asks why he makes her work like a slave. In the evening, they ask Jun-hyun whether he'll come to the team dinner, but he declines, saying he has some work to do. After everyone has left, we see him log into his account. Since he is Young-ho, he knows all the IDs and passwords. He takes control of all the cameras, takes his cane, and goes to the chairman's room. He opens it to find a huge amount of cash and gold inside, puts it all into a bag, and leaves with it. On the other side, we see Bang-gul, who's at the team dinner. She steps outside and overhears some people talking, and she makes a note of it. They were discussing 3 companies. Meanwhile, we see Jun-hyun, who uses the money to check into a hotel. He takes a shower and puts on branded clothes and a watch. In the next scene, he comes to the hospital to visit the chairman. He sits there and observes several nurses. He spots the nurse who is hungry for money, named Gong-sun. He takes her aside into a private spot and gives her money. He tells her to let him know how the chairman is doing, but she says nothing. Jun-hyun assures her that he's not a reporter. Don't worry. Gong-sun takes the money and tells him about the chairman's condition. He also hands her a letter and tells her to give it to Sang-jae. In the next scene, we see Gong-sun meet Sang-jae. She gives him the letter. Gong-sun tells him that the chairman had woken up for a moment and told her to give this letter to Sang-jae, and not to tell anyone else about it. In the next scene, we see Bang-gul showing Jun-hyun a project and telling him they'll have to give a presentation on it. On the other side, we see Jae-sung listening to an employee's presentation. Then it's Bang-gul and Jun-hyun's turn. Seeing his sister, he says to himself, "What is she doing here?" Bang-gul wants to present, but Jun-hyun takes the mic directly and names all three companies. He explains how they operate and how they hide the slush fund. They'll have to get rid of them. Jae-sung says nothing. Back in his office, he talks with an employee and asks how he came to know about these three companies. Had the information been leaked? Find out about it as fast as possible. Bang-gul says to Jun-hyun, "You didn't even read my presentation, so how do you know all this? Weren't you on Jae-sung's side?" He denies it, saying, "When did I ever say I was on his side? I'm on Sang-jae's side," who happened to be passing by right then. Sang-jae comes in and holds a meeting. He announces that the chairman recently woke up and gave him a letter. They ask what's written inside it. Sang-jae explains that until the chairman regains consciousness, he will serve as acting chairman. The siblings start saying that this letter could be fake, that he wrote it himself, but Sang-jae tells them that he had it checked with several foreign experts, and everyone confirmed that the handwriting is the chairman's. He tells the siblings that they too can become chairman, but as before, they need to prove their capability. Just then, Jun-hyun walks in and asks, "Can I apply to become chairman as well?"